Concept 5.2, sex-linked genes. Since a lot of what we know about where genes are on chromosomes comes with research using fruit flies or Drosophila, you'll be exposed to a lot of fly examples in this concept. But flies are interesting, so it won't be all bad. In this concept, we will be discussing the chromosomal basis of sex, inheritance of sex-linked genes, and X chromosome inactivation in female mammals. Sex, or the determination of being a male or a female, is determined in a lot of animals by special chromosomes that carry genes for egg or sperm development. Oftentimes, these chromosomes carry genes for secondary sex characteristics, like the bright plumage on this rooster. We call these chromosomes sex chromosomes. The other chromosomes are called autosomal chromosomes. In humans, we have two sex chromosomes, the X and the Y. The Y chromosome is much smaller than the X and carries genes for male characteristics. If a human is heterozygous in their sex chromosomes, or have an X and a Y, they are male. If they're homozygous for their sex chromosomes, or have two X's, they are female. Most of you have heard of this before, so it will be easy to remember for discussion on sex-linked traits that follow. Not all animals follow this system of sex determination. In birds and some other animals, the female is the heterozygote and the male is the homozygotic. This is called the XW system, since the sex chromosomes are different than those seen in mammals like humans. Some insects use the X0 system, where if it has two copies of the X chromosome, it is a female, and if it has one sex chromosome, it is a male. Honeybees have a very different system. If they are diploid, or come from a fertilized egg, they are female. If they come from a non-fertilized egg, or are haploid, they are male. In other words, male bees have no fathers. Odd, huh? But it works for them. Let's look at some inheritance patterns of sex-linked genes, or genes that are on one of the sex chromosomes. In fruit flies, eye color is on the X chromosome. The Y chromosome isn't homologous with the X chromosome. It carries different genes and doesn't have a gene for eye color. So male fruit flies are haploid for the eye color gene, where they only have one copy. They are diploid for genes on autosomal chromosomes. The wild type or normal eye color is red, as seen here, but there is a mutation for white eyes, as seen here. Here is a mating between a female that has two copies of the red eye gene and a male with white eyes. So he has one copy of the white eye gene because the Y chromosome doesn't have the eye color gene. All of the F1 generation, male and female, will have red eyes. The eggs all carry the allele for red eyes, and it is dominant over the white eye allele. The males, which have received their X chromosome from their mothers, have one allele for red eyes. The females, which have received a red eye allele from their mothers and a white eye allele from their fathers, have red eyes, but they are heterozygous. The results of mating the F1 generation is that half of the offspring will be female, see here in the Punnett square, and half will be male. All the females will have red eyes because their fathers could only contribute the red eye alleles. Half of them will be heterozygous. Half the males will have red eyes and half will have white eyes because they had a 50% chance of receiving a white allele from their mothers. The Y chromosome from their fathers didn't carry an eye color gene, so their phenotype comes from the allele on the X chromosome. Because of this, sex-linked traits, or X-linked traits as it is more commonly called, tend to be expressed in males that have an XY system because they have only one X chromosome. The reverse would be true for chickens and other animals that use a ZW system. Make sure you practice drawing out the Punnett squares examples from the textbook. Also, I'll be happy to go over examples with you in class. Some X-linked traits have unusual expression in female mammals because of the inactivation of a large portion of the X chromosome in females. Let's look at the X chromosome and the Y chromosome in humans. The X chromosome is quite a bit bigger. You would think that females would produce twice as many gene products than males since they have twice as many genes on their X chromosome. What happens is the majority of one of the X chromosomes becomes inactivated during embryonic development. The chromosome permanently condenses into a structure we can see under a microscope. We call it a Barr body, after the first researcher to describe it. In the ovaries, the Barr bodies are unpacked, or reactivated, and are ready to go for gamete production. This leads to some unique gene expression of female mammals, of which the tortoiseshell and calico cats are the most famous. The alleles for orange and black fur are located on the X chromosome. Black is dominant over orange. One would think that there would be only orange or black cats, but some females have patches of both black and orange alleles. During development, the chromosome carrying the orange allele may be inactivated, or it could be the chromosome carrying the black allele. It is completely random. In any case, the cells are now haploid for black or orange fur color. The cells divide by mitosis, maintaining the inactivated X chromosomes. The fur cells that produce black fur have an inactivated X chromosome. The fur cells that produce orange fur have an inactivated black chromosome. This is called mosaicism, or mosaic of gene expression in one animal. Humans have a type of mosaicism. The gene for sweat gland production is located on the X chromosome. There is an allele that results in no sweat glands on the skin. Males who receive an X chromosome with that allele are unable to sweat and suffer greatly in hot weather or during exercise. Their heterozygotic sisters, though, have patches of skin that have sweat glands and patches without sweat glands. They don't suffer as much, but they aren't able to cool themselves off as women with sweat glands over their entire bodies. Well, that's it for this concept. Be sure to write down any questions you may have and ask them during lecture.